is leading the country in how they're doing it. And as you probably know, at Henley, when you have the regatta here, they have Operation Vigilance, which is plainclothes officers are watching pubs and restaurants, and anyone who's sort of causing problems to women or men, they have uniformed officer who comes in and nicks them, which I think is great. And also, Pembrokeshire Police have led the way with the race action plan, which I think is fantastic, because I think we've got to all be seen as equal. I chair the meeting of States in Abingdon once every 3 months. As I said earlier, I'm really into community engagement. I think we all should be. And the point of anything like you do at the centre, I do with the police, is I'm not representing myself, I'm representing the community I'm part of, which is very much the rural community. I know you've had problems here with the car meets, which I understand is Section 34 has been put in place by the police, and hopefully that's working for you. And stop that. And I know there's some issues with Sainsbury shoplifting, which they're in the process of sorting out. I've spoken with my area commander who came this evening, and that's very much on the case. Also, I understand that you had a meeting with Inspector Bryan about your PCSO, which you weren't happy about having feedback on, and hopefully you're going to continue to support having him or her in the community. But I think you're quite right that if you're paying half of it, you want more than half of them here. So I fully support you in fighting that corner. In Thames Valley Police at the moment, 60% of officers are now been there for less than 2 years, which is a really frightening statistic. We want the old cop who knows what he's doing, and hopefully the ones we're getting we can keep. They're not paid enough money, without a shadow of a doubt. In the recent pay review, I'm not a police officer, by the way. In the recent pay review, the Met's loading went up from 5% to 7%, and the South East loading stayed at 3%. And I've been fighting trying to get this up to 5%. Your help there would be much appreciated. And I think that's basically it. I mean, I'm answering any questions, and I'm prepared to help in any way I possibly can. I have done in the past with people in Henley and other areas where they've not been treated, I think, fairly by the police. And I'm not fighting of sticking my neck out and supporting people. So if they've got any questions, I'll happily answer them. If not, I'll go home.
Thank you for agreeing to take some questions before we go to any other members of the public who wish to speak. We'll just take a moment to see if any councillors would like to ask questions. I can already see 2 hands up. Councillor Plant and then Councillor Thomas.
Yeah, just obviously through yourself, Madam Mayor, but how can we help? So if you say that we can help or appreciate our help in fighting for pay increases and bits like that, how can we best support that?
The only way we can do is lobbying. We've got to lobby. I understand that the sources are short, but quite frankly, I want to be safe, and I want to make sure the guy who's keeping me safe is also safe. So it's not easy. If I was a fire brigade or the NHS or shops, they'd all be saying we want more. But I think the police is really important. I think it's a special case. So I lobby. I write to MPs. I've got 2 at the moment who are helping me lobbying the Treasury. So yeah. Keep lobbying them.
Do I stand on those? So, as you know, St Mary's Church was broken into on some time between Sunday night and the early hours of Monday morning. By 7:30 on Monday evening, they still had not been visited, so they had to close the church for the whole day. So that kind of gives you a measure of where we are here, yeah. In terms of representation for Henley. I'd be very, very interested to know how we can actually contact you yourself. If you could, are you going to leave your details with Town Hall? Are you going to be making your details public so that members of the public can contact you? How does that work? Thank you.
I'll copy you. I'll stand up. No, I'm not going to make myself public because I'll get inundated with this. Sheridan's got my contact details. If you've got something that's perfect, then I don't know about the St Mary's Church breaking. Was anyone hurt? Were there any other issues going on? Was someone being killed? So it's another part of the area where they were focusing on that. I mean, I say to the police, they do rural crime operations, and I say that if you've got a missing person or a dead person or whatever like that, please go and do them. Fill it in another day. So I can't answer an individual question. I don't think you expect me to. But if you're not happy, if it hasn't been treated properly, I can disobey.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I'm going to thank you. This is the first time in 12 years that anybody like you have turned up to actually speak. So well done. Thank you for the communication. I would ask you to find out the dates for our town and community, as the chair, and we can have a more extended conversation about the police in the area. But thank you for coming. And yes, let's keep this dialogue going. Yes.
I'm not a bit worried when you say you haven't seen one like me before, I'm not that
Are there any other questions? Sorry, councillor Lambert.
Say that the next town and community is 2 weeks today.
If children contact me, and let me know the format.
So actually, I believe the other date that Sheraton gave in the email that I've seen is the Town and Community Committee, is that correct? But if you would prefer in the first instance to have a more informal meeting with the chair of that committee, myself, or other interested councillors, and I'm sure that could be arranged as well. To get the conversation running. As you know, we're incredibly supportive of the local police town council. We have consistent and regular liaisons with them. They come and update at our meetings. If they're not able to come and provide a verbal report because they're obviously busy policing, then they will often provide at least a brief written report. So there is open dialogue with our local neighbourhood team. We're keen to support the police. We will be making a decision shortly on whether or not we continue to support the PCSO also.
Can I make one other thing? I do think the police should come to your AGM. That's my personal view. Because I think it's good that, that it's a big town, and it's an important town. And I think Tim Pavey or someone should come to the AGM. If you want me to come to your meeting, I might try and bring someone with me. I might try and say to the police and fire commission, someone will come with me, because that would help me as well.
Thank you. We have two meetings, police regularly. So the police also attend our annual town meeting, which is not to be confused with our annual meeting of the council, which is mayor making. The annual town meeting is on the 28th of this month, and this is where all local organisations, including the police, are welcome to come and represent themselves and share information and updates. We also have the annual mayor making, which the police also attend. They also attend all civic events such as civic service, remembrance, and Blair Reef and things like that. So.
We laid a wreath at Euron this year. My grandfather's horse Nancy, who came back from the First World War. We had the bugler, man in full regalia on horse, police, RAF, everything. Do the job, do it properly.
Fantastic. So I look forward to further engagement with you.
If I can have,
And
Sharon's got my details, we'll keep it.
thank you very much. Would anyone else like to speak?
Naomi Taylor, Chiltern Arts, I'm just here to say thank you very much to the Finance Committee for their recommendation before council, and I'm here to further this recommendation following the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
You absolutely have don't give councillors ideas then.
I'll see you.
Okay, so we'll move on now to agenda item 4, which are the minutes of the last full council meeting held on the 13th of February. You'll find these on pages 5 and 6. Are there any amendments, queries, comments? I see none. I'm happy to move those from the chair. All in favour? Thank you very much. We'll now go to reports of committees. I'll start with Councillor Buckley with planning minutes. Pages 7 to 13.
Minutes of meeting with Planning Committee, Tuesday the 6th of February. 167 apologies for absence. 168 for declarations of interest. 169 minutes. 170 public participation. 171 plans amended. 172 plans new. 173 objections columns. 174 decision notices. 175 certificate of lawful development. 176 appeals, 177 national planning policy framework, 178 local plan consultation, 179 progress report for application called in, 180 progress report.
In favour? Thank you very much.
It's the planning committee for Tuesday 20th of February. 181 apologies for absence, 182 declarations of interest, 183 minutes. 185 185 plans amended, 186 plans new, 187 objections, 188 decision notices, 189 certificate of lawful development, 190 appeal, 191 design for pedestrian crossing. We've got 2 resolutions here. One was to approve the allocation of 485 for design work for pedestrian crossing, and the other is to recommend the finance strategy and management to approve the allocation of £2,000 for design of public crossing. 192 progress report.
What are they in favour? Thank you very much, that's carried. I'll go to myself for the recreation and amenity minutes. These are on pages 15 to 17. These are the minutes from the meeting held on Tuesday, the 20th of February. Minute 59, apologies for absence. 60, declaration of interest. 61, public participation. 62, minutes. 63, progress. 64, finance. 65, climate emergency working group tree strategy. 66, Makins Recreation Ground Car Park. 67, Mill Meadows temporary mooring charges. 68, Fernmar Cemetery Memorial Safety Policy. 69, Mill Meadows Toddler Playground. I so move. All in favour? Thank you very much. That's carried. So we'll now go to Councillor Lambert for the town and community minutes on pages 19 to 21.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to present the minutes of the Town and Community Committee meeting held on Tuesday, the 27th of February. 77 apologies, 78 declarations of interest, 79 public participation, 80 minutes, 81 police, 82 communications manager update, 83 town centre manager update, 84 finances, 85 Christmas cut hire, 86 March Lock footbridge, 87 progress. I so move.
All in favour? Thank you very much. That's carried. We now go to Councillor Riceman for the finance strategy and management minutes on pages 23 to 25.
The minutes of the meeting of the Finance Strategy and Management Committee held on the 5th of March. Item 68 apologies. Item 69 declarations of interest. Item 70 public participation. Item 71 minutes. Item 72 finance. Item 73 expenditure. Item 74 grant applications. Item 75 exclusion of public and press. Item 76 legal update. Item 77 River and Row Museum. Item 78 Red Lion Lawn licence. It's a bit tongue twister, isn't it? Item 79 salary review. I so move.
All in favour? Thank you very much. That's carried. Just to make you aware now that that's gone through as the vote, you were successful in your £1,045. So do not feel like you have to stay for the rest of the meeting either. We'll now move on to agenda item 6, which is reports of other authorities. And I'd like to welcome Councillor Arlett, one of our district councillors, to the meeting. Got your own special table today as well, Councillor Arlett. Would you-
Yeah.
Are you happy? Is there anything you want to add to your very extensive report that you worked very hard on?
I should just mention the performance arts before Councillor Galasha mentions it, but he was the one that really pushed this money through. I know he's very shy, he probably wouldn't have said that himself, so that's why I'm saying it all, but
No, Minister of Finance is lovely.
but to get at least 60,000, he may even get more actually if the other two theatres in Tame and Wallingford don't wish to take the money. We could well get some more for the Kenton Theatre. No, there's a lot of finance in the report, a lot of support from SODC, and obviously there's a fair bit of green stuff as well, which I'm very favourable of. But other than that, anybody would like to ask any questions? Well, actually saying that, nobody wrote any questions.
Do you have very? Is there anything you'd like to add, Councillor Galasha, district before county?
A couple of things, if I may, Matt. My report's on page 34. I am going to pick up the beds issue with just another comment. Again, Phil Sims of the Henley Standard has done a magnificent job actually championing this cause, and he's been working very closely with Councillor Riceman and I. And there have been freedom of information flying around to OCC, to the ICB, which is the health bodies, to do with it. And in the latest batch, the Integrated Care Board, Box, Ox and Barts, which is ICB Bob, but anyway, they're the health body that run Oxfordshire, Buckinghamshire and Berkshire, have confirmed that the beds that were removed from there were NHS beds, therefore should have had a consultation before they were removed. So we are pursuing that with vigour. The second bit I just want to comment on is the Marsh Lock Horse Bridge. Councillor Bartholomew from Shiplake and Councillor Hunt, the Deputy Mayor, have been working on this, but we have been singularly unsuccessful in that the EA and OCC are just missing the point. We're coming to the summer season. The walking route on the Thames Bar needs to be opened, and it will not be opened this year because of their fecklessness. They have identified what the problems are, but they're arguing, I almost use an incorrect word there, they're arguing the whatever about who's going to pay for it. And at the end of March, the very kind offer by Cullen 4 and Alex Dick for the diversion around is going to be closed. So therefore, the route, when you get to Marshlock, is up Mill Lane, along the Reading Road, down into Harpston Village, up and over the top through Woodlands Road. Yes, correct, Jeff, you're shaking your head with incredulity. Up Woodlands Road, down to Shiplake Cross, down the road to the river. This is sheer and utter stupidity and madness. I am sure, and I will say this, that if we had a date for the repair of the bridge, then Rory and I would go and have a chat with Alex Dick, Cullen 4, and say, look, we've got a date for the repair. Could you please keep the path open? But without the date, Cullen 4 are quite right to be pretty mixed off with the way that they have been treated by OCC and the Environment Agency. So watch this space. Nothing will happen for the moment, but we hope, well, we can only hope. Please, yes, report it in the Henley Standard. Thank you. Anyway, thank you. That's all, Madam Chair.
Thank you for those further updates. There being no questions sent in, we'll, oh, sorry, Councillor Jackson.
Sorry, Stefan, has it been costed to what works?
We haven't, sorry, I will answer that. The answer is no. Sorry, I'm sure it has, but we haven't been able to find that information. We haven't even been able to find out the structural engineer's report on the bridge, even though we've been banging on about it continuously. And we're at area level, EA level. So even the lady that we're dealing with has not been able to produce. So we haven't got a technical spec, and we haven't got cost either. So no. Thanks. Good question. Thank you.
Okay, we'll now move on to reports of outside bodies. I know that Councillor Hunt, you have that date again, so I'll let you begin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. My report is from the River and Rowing Museum, who have had a good few months, and particularly the last two. They would like to pass on their thanks as a board to the Town Council for the grant that was given to them over the next 3 years. And they're also pleased to report that following our advice that they should look for grants elsewhere as well, they've been successful, well, subject to cabinet approval, with an SODC grant to renovate a children's education space. They're pleased to have hosted both the launch of the Henley Youth Festival and the launch of the British Rowing River Cleanup Initiative in the last few weeks. And their plan to rejuvenate the museum within the local community has started off very well. They've had over 700 visitors during half term and have launched online tickets for the first time in their history. They've had good coverage in The Guardian following the recent floods and trying to really lead on the education to do with our rivers piece. And on top of that, they have also had a sold out John Piper masterclass, and they're looking to run more of those throughout the summer. So there's lots going on. Thank you.
Fantastic. I believe Councillor Thompson, you have an update on the Henley Education Trust.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor. So as a trustee of the Henley Educational Trust, we successfully completed a year's worth of funding concluded last night. And I'd just like to share with you all the amount that's actually been donated, given in grants to individuals and educational facilities in Henley. The total grants given, that's across the 3 different types of grants they award, was £136,000. And that's broken into the following amounts. For individual grants, 145 individuals were assisted. So that's either with school uniform, shoes, extracurricular activity, school trips, etc. For the Henley Partnership of Schools, I think this would be the 3rd or 4th year they've helped now with the entirety of the mental health offering for the Henley Partnership of Schools. So that's beginners and the primary schools. As we know, nationally, there's a very, very patchy offering in terms of mental health support across our schools, just at a time when we need it most. So that's a really very important award that those schools need. And they've also helped individual schools with special benefits. And also they've helped other organisations around Henley, such as the Henley Rugby Club, the Henley Cricket Club, the Henley Youth Festival, the Henley College and a playgroup. So yes, so we look forward to helping more individuals and schools again and other organisations going forward when we start our new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thomas. I think that was a really impressive update and fantastic charity turnout for supporting our young people. Councillor Campbell, do you have an update for Green Henley?
Yes, so yes, just to say that Green Henley continues to raise awareness about the nature and climate crisis in a number of different ways. One of the main ways that we have worked successfully with is partnering with the Regal Picture House by way of organising these green screen events. And I'm really pleased to say that we've had sold out screenings. And there is another film coming up next Wednesday called 6 Inches of Soil, which I would encourage everyone here to come and watch, because it covers a really important subject of food and farming. Just to say that we also look forward, the Green Henley also look forward to partnering with Henley Town Council for the June's Great Big Green Week. And following the success of 2023's Great Big Green Week, Green and Henley has been invited to feature on the Climate Coalition, which is the national organising body, to feature in their promo video, because we did such a great job here. So I think it's a really wonderful opportunity. Watch this space. We look forward to welcoming you or working with you as part of Green and Henley, and hope Henley Town Council Great Big Green Week in 2024.
Thank you. Are there any other councillors that would like to give an outside body before we move on? I see none, so we'll move on to Mayor's civic engagements. Had a bit more free time the last couple of months, which is fantastic, because Lena has very firmly instructed me that that's now over for the next few months. And just a couple of things I would like to highlight. The Mayor's Uncivic Dinner on the 5th of April. It would be great to see you all. It would be even better if you wore some denim and some sparkles, but it's not a strict rule, it's just encouraged. I know not everybody has denim in their wardrobe, as I've been told a few times since. And I'd also like to highlight, I was really lucky to host a few things within the town hall this month, 2 of which were town medal presentations, which were the people who have done phenomenal work in 2 completely different ways. Paul Barrett and Ruth Gibson, I know you all know their names, and the work that they've done in the town. And I was really actually honoured, because they actually won the awards last year, and we hadn't been able to host. So I was very lucky to be able to be the one to give them their town medals, and they were special moments. But I was also able to host the Education Henley meeting, and this was eye-opening to see the work that the fairly newly formed Education Henley group are doing. This is a group of head teachers of Henley and the surrounding areas, the colleges, the secondary school, the primary schools, both state and private, and they are hosting so many different events. They are collaborating in so many ways, and this is the beginning of something really special. And they have an event that I'd also like to highlight on the 21st of April, hosted at Stoner Park in aid of Be Free Young Carers. It's the Great School Run. It starts at 9:30 in the morning, and it's for people of all ages. Whatever your ability, you can walk it, you can run it, as long as you support it. And you can also go just to be a cheerleader if you like, and support the event and show your face. And Lawrence, I think it's definitely.
We should probably all be there.
Yeah.
If you don't run, you have to cheer.
Yes, absolutely. So I just wanted to highlight that event as well. But thank you all councillors for all your support in various ways over the last couple of months, and I look forward to receiving that support again over the next few. And I'd just like to also thank Councillor Hunt, who has stepped in on a few occasions and certainly saved my skin. And he's also made sure that we are able to both represent Henley Town Council at a variety of things when there are diary clashes. So my thanks also to Councillor Hunt. And now we move on to agenda item 9, which is the expenditure. And this is to approve the 2,000 from CIL. So I'm going to pass over to Councillor Buckley.
Just take out the notes. Yeah, this is, we had an estimate for 15,000, I think, for the original design. That was based on what we spent on the design for the crossing Place Hill. Unfortunately, obviously, the costs have gone up. We have 3 crosses being designed. We've got Pelican at Rupert House, we've got the 2 at either end of the road. The over cost is to try and, well, the £2,000 to pick up the additional cost for the additional design.
You're proposing it?
Yep.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Would you like to speak to that?
Just very briefly, the part of the reason why the cost has gone up a little bit is because Bell Street crossing in particular, which is just this side of Rupert House, is a particularly tricky one because they've got to get it right, because there's a lot of services going underneath the pavement, electric, telephone and water as well. So if you have a design that doesn't work, it's not going to be terribly good. So therefore, yes, I second this this spend of £2,000.
Thank you. Would anyone like to make comment, ask a question, debate this at all before we move to vote? I see none, so we'll move straight to the vote. All of those in favour of the proposal? That's unanimous. Thank you. Now move to the final item of the agenda, the strategic plan. And I would like first to Sheridan, is there anything you'd like to add before we?
No, nothing to add, other than to thank councillors for their wonderful input during the workshop that we had, rather long workshop that we had back in October.
Thank you. Councillor Gashak, would you like to speak on this?
Thank you, Chair. We're on page 34 for the strategic plan. 39, sorry, I apologise, 39. Yeah, the glossy blue page onwards. I would like to propose this motion and the adoption of the council's strategic plan 3954, and the mayor is going to second it. This is a four-ish year plan for the council, but we always must bear in mind that in fact the council works on behalf of the residents of Henley. So this is a plan not just for the council, but it's for the residents of Henley to basically improve the services and the structures and the lives of people. Normally strategic plans are dry and dusty, but this one isn't. Its history was that a lot of councillors got together to actually form the genesis of this plan, create a list of things that we wanted to do. And then this was added to by the town clerk and also the officers of the council. So therefore you see this document before you. Then the officers inputted, led by Sheridan, and Sheridan has formed this document, which I think is the best strategic plan I've ever seen. It's very glossy, you're right, but the substance of it is magnificent, and the structure of it, including on page 41, a wonderful picture of Councillor Kelly Hinton, the mayor, and a wonderful Jane Austen character in Sheridan Jacqueline Edwards, the town clerk. It's a lovely picture of that. The most important, well, it's all important, it's all good stuff, is page 52. Give it page 52 and 53, where it sets out a list of things that we are going to do with committees and people attached. You know, if this document was just a document as a wish list, it would be good, but this has been made even better because the people who are accountable for delivering it have been put into the plan. It is a plan that will evolve. It's not a second stone, this plan. It's a plan that will evolve, and it includes litter, street cleaning, graffiti, improving the bus service, pedestrian crossings, adventure playground improvement, climate and nature, bee friendly, and also financial stability of the council, and a real transport strategy having air quality at its heart. It's important to note that this document will evolve, and it will be added to, and it will be edited, and it will be amended. It must be a live document for delivery. Finally, it must be emphasised that the councillors that are delivering this plan are volunteers. None of the councillors around this table get paid, with the exception of the mayor who gets a small stipend for doing the job. We are volunteers. There are loads of volunteers in Henley. But the important thing is we are volunteers. We are a whole council, and we are volunteers that will try and deliver what is in this document. And I really thank the councillors and the officers led by Sheridan, the chairs and vice chairs of committees who put in a shift to get this done. But ultimately, it is all the councillors of this council that will help. So therefore, I commend this to the council, and I hope that it will be unanimously approved. It's a great document, and well done to Sheridan for popping it together. Thank you.
As councillor Galshak quite rightly predicted, I am going to second this from the chair. It's a very detailed strategic plan. Sorry, one meeting, please. Detailed strategic plan with realistic and achievable, but also some quite ambitious plans. And I think that not only, as councillor Galshak said, are us councillors going to help, but actually we're going to take responsibility for making sure these things happen. And I'd just like to echo councillor Galshak's thanks to everybody around the table and everybody in the town hall and parks that have contributed to this plan. Before we move to a vote on it, now it's been seconded. I did hear some comments over there. Did you either of you want to speak?
Yeah, must be.
Absolutely. Councillor Overton, would you like to?
I don't see any mention about potholes, and potholes, there are quite a few in the town. We had 2, 3 on the way down Rose Road today. Could you, they may not be to do with us as direct, but the thing is we need to be putting pressure on and getting these roads sorted in it, because they are dangerous. They cause accidents, and someone could potentially be killed at some point through these potholes. The other thing is overgrowing hedgerows on footpaths. As a town council, can we not put pressure on? We keep getting, I'll put it on Fix My Street, put it on Fix My Street, but that never seems to. I put that hedge on up by the top shops. I put that on Fix My Street 3 times. I cut back a little bit of the hedge up there and reported that was over a year ago. Nothing is done about it. There's 2 dead trees in there. At some point, they're going to come across and hit someone because they're going to fall out because they're rotten. They're going to fall down. But there's, I mean, this is good in quite a lot of things, but they used to do the drainage. Oxford County Council used to come out and do the drains. They used to do them every year, but now they do them every 2 to 3 years. that, by the time they get round and get to that cycle, those drains are full to the top. And when they're full to the top, they've failed, because the only way you can get them clean is you have to jet them. They don't, you can't just put the thing down, which I've seen them do, just do that. The drain is still blocked. So as much as all this is all good, those are the things that people keep mentioning to me about hedgerows, potholes, drains and all that stuff. And that's the stuff that needs sorting as well.
I understand completely what you're saying, and like you said, it's not something that we do, it's something that other authorities do that we need to try and apply pressure for. I know that there is a plan for many roadworks across the town. I don't know if Councillor Gavshlack's in a position now to be able to talk about that, or perhaps update at a later date on certainly the condition of our roads. The hedgerow, I'm afraid I don't have any update on, and I do echo your comments about the drainage, and I think that we should be picking this up, particularly through perhaps our town community committee, and the other issues maybe through the transport strategy.
With the hedgerow at the top shops, you've got nothing to worry about now, because I've done that. I've cut that all right back. But there's 2 trees in there which has been put on Fix My Street, that if they're not sorted, they're going to come down on someone, and because it's on the footpath, or go across the road. So it has been reported to this meeting, and the County Standard hopefully reported as well.
Sometimes that's the fastest way to get people to act. Councillor Buckley.
I was going to say, in terms of the Fix My Street, myself and Councillor Plant have actually been longest super users. There's a number of other people who've been longest super users. If you're having issues in getting it logged, please let me know. I don't have a lot of the time to go out and do all stuff, but I'm more than happy to go put some stuff on as a super user and see if we can progress here. It is an acknowledgement that we're trying to do something.
Yeah.
And also that OCC will have a swathe of Fixing My Street reports coming in, and you know, at the end of the day, they're limited in terms of their resources. I get exactly where you're coming from. We've had Razor car park flooded pretty much half the time over the winter.
Councillor Buckley, how does one become a super user?
It was emailed out. There was an email went out from somebody in the council on the was asking for volunteers. I assume that everybody else would have got an email.
We can do more courses.
They just picked you up.
Councillor Overton, it might be an idea for you, as people who come to you quite regularly, for you to register as a super user as well. It might help you, get things actually quickly. Are there any other comments, Councillor Plant?
Yeah, I'd just like to congratulate the council staff on producing this document. Having sat through that very long, very extensive meeting, I was thinking, how on earth is this going to come into a document that any one of us will ever want to see again? But to see something that both, you know, is the benefit to us, but also to the town residents, they can see what our long-term plan and strategy is. I think it's a great document to have on our website that we can all share to the residents to see what the future looks like and some of our key priorities. I think it's really concise, but also very informative. So it's a good balance.
Councillor Austin.
Thank you. I'd like to discuss the caring for the environment. I really appreciate the focus on the climate emergency and also on the nature emergency, and I think that's a central part of what we should be doing going forward. I am concerned about the use of net zero by 2030. Net zero is actually includes supply chain, and that will be very difficult for us to achieve in the very near future. When we talk about net, there are 2 ways of achieving that. Either use carbon capture and storage, which would be very expensive for the council, or you have using with trees, which sequester emissions. Fortunately, thanks to Councillor she sent me the tree strategy this morning, and looking at the tree economics study, which occurred last year, I believe, the average sequestration, the average emissions that are absorbed are less than 55, which means we were actually going to achieve 31% of the total emissions by the council. And we need to think about how we can actually do more to actually achieve those emissions, to secure those emissions. As it stands, declaring net zero with its supply chain element and performance in terms of tree sequestration means that actually net zero won't be achieved by 2030. Thank you.
If I could just come to the town clerk first to answer this. And I'm sorry, just to be clear, you're talking about the wording on page 49, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, so it's the wording on page 49, which says actually builds on the work already underway to achieve net zero by 2030. Councillor Hoskins does raise some important points about how we define net zero, and there are scope 1, scope 2, and scope 3 measures that you can use. The council has already committed to working towards net zero by 2030. So the strategic plan doesn't do anything more than the council has already committed to. Scope 3 doesn't need to be included within net zero.
It is.
According to the greenhouse gas protocol accounting and reporting.
No, it is.
It is there as an optional. The scope 1 and scope 2 were calculated back in 2020 to be about 135 tons. The main contributors towards that were the council's electricity, which I can just find it. The council's electricity, which was but basically the council's already made great steps towards reducing those scope 1 and scope 2, both electricity going renewable, gas now being green gas, the conversion of the park's diesel usage to HVO, a lot of decarbonisation work, and other work. So that has already made a very large impact on the scope 1 and scope 2. And adding in the 50 tons, adding the 50 tons sequestration from the council's trees as well. So we are already well on the way to achieving net zero. But the important thing here is that this the strategic plan doesn't actually say anything that the council has not already committed to doing. If the council does wish to change its targets, then of course it is welcome to do so. But I would recommend that that goes through the proper system of going through the climate emergency working group and then coming back as a recommendation to full council.
Do you want to reply now? Because I know you were trying to say something in between.
Yes, I think I differ, and frankly, all the work I've done in the past 20 years of climate emergency highlights the fact that the climate emergency net zero includes the supply chain. But I think we differ, and let's leave it at that for the moment, at least.
Okay, thank you. I'll go to Councillor Kandar and then Councillor Riceman.
Yeah, I just want to say, bring on the challenge of tree planting. And how can we, as a member of the tree strategy working group, you know, that is a really good challenge for us to step up to. It is our plan to do a lot of tree planting to mitigate some of the carbon emissions. And, you know, that is what we're working towards. It will not solve the problem, but looking after our hedgerows and making sure that there are decent nature wildlife corridors, as well as planting thousands of trees, is what we as a council have agreed to do. So you have just reminded us that we have a wonderful opportunity to change our landscape to help us be fitter for the future to deal with the climate and nature and address that. So thank you for raising it, and I think it's a really good challenge for us all. Where can you plant a tree or manage a hedgerow? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kandar. Councillor Riceman.
Councillor Gamshak mentioned this was the best strategic plan he'd ever seen. Well, I've seen a few plans of this sort started in the council over many years, and I think this is the first one that's actually reached this stage of approval, particularly with the quality of the plan, the breadth and the depth that we have of the items that comprise the plan. It really is a very impressive document, and yes, it's the first time I think we've really succeeded in producing one worthy of the name. And it also emphasises that those list of actions. I mean, there's many more things that we do, but those are our plans for the next 4 to 5 years. And it just goes to show the value that we provide to residents at £150 per household per year. That this council does actually provide to the town, the residents, and I think it's a tribute to the work of councillors and officers and the town itself. I'd like to just come on briefly to Councillor Hoskins' concerns, which are and these are valid concerns. That firstly, we set targets which are realistic and achievable, and I think we have done that. And he's concerned, as I understand it, that if we commit to net zero, it includes this scope 3, the supply chain issues. Now, the route to decarbonising the town council supply chains is not clear. These are still at early stage compared to, say, carbon dioxide emissions that we directly emit at scope 1 and scope 2. These are more complex and more difficult because as supply chains can be long and complex, and measuring them is difficult. And these are early days. It's an area of rapid policy development, and I think we should set that target. But as the town clerk has said, and as Councillor Gamshak has said, this is an organic document, and we'll be reviewing it regularly as we go along to make sure that it remains in tune with the current developments in all areas, but particularly this one. And the town council supply chains are, in any case, relatively short, simple, than many organisations have. So I'd like to see that text remain. I very much hope we achieve it by 2030. If it looks that we need to change that target, then we can do that in the future. I think it's right for us to be ambitious. It is an ambitious plan, but I think it's realistic and achievable. I'm going to vote for it.
Thank you. Before I pass to Councillor Gamshak to sum up and just check there's nobody else that wants to raise anything. Councillor Candido, before you did mention about where this might be promoted, where people might be able to find this. And so I think we were all hoping that this would definitely be available on the website, that there would be links to it on all social media platforms. Given that you attend and have a very great relationship with any business partnership, maybe you could take copies to any business partnership, also to have copies available downstairs in visitor information for web residents, so that we can help spread the word and share them. Councillor Gamshak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll sum up just very quickly. Yes, I did actually say this is an evolving and it will be an edited document. I'm not saying this is the final plan for 4 years. If there are things that need to come into this plan, bring them in. If they need to be modified, then that's fine. It is challenging and ambitious, and Tony, you're quite right on climate emergency, it is. But it's the other thing I did emphasise is about volunteering. We have a wonderful group of volunteers that populate working groups in this town council. And one of the working groups, which was brilliantly led by Tony, was the climate emergency working group. And if there are concerns about supply chains, it's beyond my pay grade, by the way, and I don't quite understand it. So that is the right place to actually have the discussion with the Climate Emergency Committee. They come out with a recommendation, that goes to plans, and then it ultimately comes down to full council. One of the critical documents is that I've referred to it already, page 52. You will see that there is target dates, there are project sponsors, and there are lead senior officers. For example, Town and Community Committee, the Town Centre Manager. RLA Committee, Town Clerk, Clerk's Manager. So there are people attached to this document, and I'm sure in every committee of this council it will be referred to so that it doesn't just go onto a shelf, Jane Dust. It is actually an active working document. And certainly I will, and the whole town court, and also the town council, in about a year's time, we should have a checklist and an audit on this document to see what's been done. And so that we're accountable. So anyway, it's an evolving document that will be edited and will be moved forward. And I absolutely commend it to the council, and I would hope you would unanimously vote for it. Thank you.
Thank you, that's now been summed up. Everybody would like to vote in favour? Thank you, that's, are you voting in favour, Councillor Robertson?
Yeah.
That's unanimous, thank you very much, that's